Forcing yourself to let go of your past, let go of a negative, a toxic experience, especially with a narcissistic individual, isn't always the best approach or the easiest approach. When you're that focused on letting go, you kind of forget to move on. And then with the emotional attachment from the past events, the past memories, these stay alive within you. The fear of the unknown can keep us trapped in the past because it's more familiar. It's still painful, but it's more familiar. So the fear of moving forward comes from the fear of the unknown. We can also have feelings such as guilt and shame and self-blame that keeps us locked on the past and makes it very difficult to let go. Our identity can be based on our past. Therefore, letting go kind of means letting go of part of who we are, losing who we've become. You kind of get into the routine and the habits and the patterns of things, and when you've had that routine, that pattern for a long period of time, it's very difficult to shift out of it. You need to have at least 30 days before you start creating that new pattern where it sticks. We can often lack the closure. We've not fully processed, we've not fully healed, and people can be trauma bonded due to the highs of the relationship, releasing that dopamine, and the lows, releasing that cortisol. You can become addicted to the pattern of behaviour. Therefore, letting go can be a very challenging thing to do. The best way to let go is to find a way to move forward, because the more you focus on your future, the less your mind is going to drag you into your past. You do still need that time to grieve, and we can often want to skip this step because it's incredibly painful, and the grief varies between how long somebody has suffered at the hands of another, the things somebody has been through, people's perception of events. The grief stage varies, and we can often start off going into that denial. Then we can hit things such as anger and resentments. We can want to bargain with our narcissistic parent, our narcissistic ex, our narcissistic friend, bargain with ourselves, trying to recreate the past with them, because at times it can be really good with them, and then at other times it's horrific. You can hit a stage of depression where you find it very difficult to even get up in the morning, and then eventually comes that acceptance of what was. And that usually comes while you're doing things such as educating yourself on narcissism and the things you've experienced at the hands of another person. When you educate yourself, you start to view them differently, and then it can make it easier to cut contact if possible, or go limited contact in grey rock. You learn ways to deal with them or to handle yourself around them, and you are learning. So you do make mistakes, you do slip up, and often it's to teach us that actually this new method works better than our old method. We also need that self-care, that physical, the mental care, doing the exercise and the hobbies that we enjoy, trying to get the right amount of sleep, which can be extremely difficult when you're struggling with things like CPTSD. It's working through all these things and finding the things to keep you going. Yoga, meditation, exercise, hobbies. Get creative in something you enjoy to drive you forward. Stay in your present. When your mind drags you into the past, into a negative event, sort of thing, right, I know you want to think about that right now, however, I don't. It's not very pleasant. Is there anything I need to work on particularly? Do I need to work on a trigger? Or can I focus on something I'm going to be doing that's going to be more fun this afternoon, tomorrow? Shall I get out there and go for a walk in the fresh air with the trees and the birds and just sort of calm myself back down. It's finding what works for you and trying to stay in the present moment when those toxic negative moments hit. Redirecting your focus onto new activities, new goals, new interests, new experiences, creating a sense of purpose for you, something you want for the future. And having patience with yourself, learning that things don't happen overnight, that we do make plenty of mistakes along the way, learning from our mistakes, recognising that if we want to achieve 10 things in a day and we only achieve 8, how good it felt achieving those 8. And the next day, do those 2 we missed first thing, and then continue. And remember that when we put challenges off, when we put things off that needs to be done, we often then feel worse and it's easier to sink into that depression. However, by doing them and then remembering that feeling when you completed the task to help you not procrastinate and get up and do it anyway the next time, because you know you're going to feel better for doing so.